in the innovation space. Please help me welcome to the stage Dan Ryan, MD of SwissRe.
Hi everyone. Wow, quite a view. So the old joke is about European heaven, and I'll just do the European heaven rather than the European hell. So in European heaven, the French are the cooks, the Italians are the lovers, the Germans are the mechanics, the English are the police, and the Swiss organize it all. Well, I think based on the evidence of this, the Swiss are going to have to give up when it comes to organizing, and the Italians are going to have to give up when it comes to making the food. And I won't go into the European hell. So what have we learned? Why are we so passionate about MassChallenge? And for me, the passion comes from working with some really amazing minds on some really interesting problems. And those highlights that come back to me go back to the first time that we had people coming from MassChallenge to Zurich. So we had mum incubators and we had residents coming to us and sharing their ideas and highlighting what it is that we'd be able to do together. And that passion has led to a growing relationship, a growing partnership. I want to especially thank Craig Copeland, who brought us together in Boston. But here in the UK, the face for SwissRe and MassChallenge is Corinne Fitzgerald. The passion, the enthusiasm she brings to every interaction inspires our team, brings the catalyst leads together, and the faces, the happy faces of the various catalyst leads of the catalysts at SwissRe coming back, whether it's Danny or Emma or Stephen or Kathy or Evangelos, it tells me this is something that's valuable. And when I think about some of the interactions we have, the one that stands out in my mind most was when we were coming to judge at a previous round some of the fascinating ideas that were being put to us. And I think, and no fault of MassChallenge, we got into the wrong room. So we're actually in the room, me and a fellow judge, with some of you guys. And I was amazingly touched by how calm everyone was. You had your idea, you had your mission, you had what you wanted to achieve, and you were just ready to share it. And eventually someone kindly said, I think you're in the wrong room, you need to go next door. This could be actually bad, kind of, sharing things in advance. So we went next door, and next door with the judges was pure pandemonium. No one could log on, no one could use the system. Everything was rectified in time thanks to MassChallenge, but the contrast between the confidence and the passion in the room of those who are about to be judged and those who are going to make that judging comments was dramatic for me. But the thing I keep coming back to is actually the element I like most is the mission statement that you have. If it is humanly possible, we will get it done. And it's not just a slogan, you actually live it, I see it. Whether it's in Boston with Dina and Cara and JV, or here with Becky and James and all the others that have helped us so much, it is a genuine passion. And when it comes to passion, the man you see on these screens around you, okay, he may look rather old, he's actually 41, but he is for us the origins of this passion. So Alfred Escher on the screen, he was the first ever Swiss national president at the age of 29. This was in 1848, at a time when revolutions were sweeping across Europe and railways were transforming, and the first true transformation, both society and individuals. And his passion was that Switzerland would not be behind, that actually Switzerland would take advantage and link to the wider world. So he had an idea, and the idea was a tunnel, the Gotthard Tunnel. But the problem was Switzerland was only famous at that time for two things: the scenery and the chocolate. There were no mathematicians, there were no physicists, there were no engineers. He still wanted the tunnel. So he set up the first ever university specializing in physicists, ETH Zurich. But there was no one to actually provide the money to actually fund this. So SwissRe Kreditstart was the company he founded. You may know it as Credit Suisse. He was aware there were going to be risks, so he set up an insurance company, Swiss Life. And those risks would be really huge, because this was the longest tunnel that had ever been built up to that point, SwissRe. So that man founded the whole basis for modern Switzerland, bringing in insurance, banking, and excellence, and those trains running on time. And he allowed the chocolate producers to continue producing chocolate. Alfred Escher would see you as his kin. There's a wonderful poem. It's a poem which my grandmother put on my bed, above my bed when I was a small boy, because her father, an Armenian who left Armenia and Turkey to go to New York in the beginning of the century, felt that the way it spoke to him was so profound, so deep, and that poem was If by Rudyard Kipling. And there's a bit in that poem towards the end which says, if you can face the unforgiving minute and fill it full of 60 seconds of distance run, yours is the world and everything in it. Alfred Escher believed strongly in the importance of using every moment he had. And for you, as the startups of MassChallenge, time is everything. Sometimes, on the corporate side, we take too long. And maybe sometimes it's putting it too mildly. The reality is that time is the great enemy. The ideas that we have today need to be pushed forward, need to be developed. No one is going to wait if that idea is not put forward. And when I think about MassChallenge and I think about SwissRe, your experience, your passion, you remind us of how we were originally forged. We were forged from that man, from that group, from that ethos in terms of transforming. And the experience that we've had with MassChallenge has been truly humbling. To actually sit in a room with a number of colleagues and listen to people like James and Matt talking from Mum Incubators about how they could develop an idea in terms of providing to some of the most disadvantaged, challenged individuals in the world help to their children. Listening to companies such as Resonance describing how they can bring the world a better understanding of supplies and supply chain. Listening to others outside of SwissRe has been valuable to us. And maybe the last thing I wanted to share was that it also is a kind of experience full of laughter, full of joy, and full occasionally of mishap. And we had a Boston InsurTech event just about a month ago. And one of the ways that we were trying to get people to kind of link together and understand each other was, I thought, quite novel. It was to make a name tag for someone else. And you had lots of things around you. You had pipe cleaners, you had confetti, you had coloring pens and whatever. And the idea was to produce one which actually someone would feel real happy to put onto around their neck. So I talked to this guy, got a good sense of what he was interested in. I started to draw it. It was going pretty well. And then as the time cut down, because this was actually time precious, it got to the point where I realized I actually had no way of actually hanging this around anyone's neck because I forgot to make any holes. So I quickly scrabbled around and found a pair of scissors, and in the panic of trying to get this thing done to meet the time, the scissors went through the name tag and straight into my hand. Now there was blood running down my hand and onto this name tag. So I made this a very, very personal name tag. I won't say exactly what his face looked like, as I said, here, you want to wear it? But at the end of the day, it taught me something really important. Time is precious, and we've really, really enjoyed the time that we've had in terms of sharing your progress. And I wish you every luck this evening and look forward to the journey ahead. And thank you very much for joining and letting us be the sponsor tonight. Thank you.